welcome back to our explainer. We're diving deep into Dr. Sudheendra S G's research on the art of learning, and this is really for you, the educators out there who are doing the most important work. We've laid our foundation, and today we're going to build on it. So, if our first pillar, that first avastambam, was all about seeing learning as a kind of game, well, the second pillar is about how to actually win it. And I don't mean just getting the right answers. I mean winning it on a deep, profound level. We're moving past just playing the game. Now, we're aiming for real mastery. So, how in the world do we get there? Well, we're going to look at a really powerful method from the legendary Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman. Now, Feynman wasn't just a genius. He was an absolute master at taking things that were incredibly complicated and making them seem almost ridiculously simple. And here's the core of it, the absolute key. The real test of your knowledge isn't what you can understand in your own head. It's what you can explain to someone else. You know, that act of teaching, of forcing yourself to simplify, it makes you see all the little holes in your own understanding. It pushes you to refine your thoughts until they're just crystal clear. Okay, let's break this down, because the beauty of it is just how simple it is. Step 1, you learn something. Step 2, you turn around and try to teach it. But, and this is important, you use simple, everyday language, no jargon. Step 3, and this is the magic part, you notice where you get stuck, where you hesitate, where you say, that's the gold. And finally, step 4, you go back to the books, fill in those gaps, and you do it all over again until your explanation is just smooth as silk. This one sentence, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It is the perfect benchmark for us as educators and for our students. It's not about dumbing it down. No. It's about raising your own understanding to such a high level that you can just distill its pure essence for anyone. And get this, what's so incredible here is the humility. We're talking about one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, and his first step to learning was to make a list of everything he didn't know. It's just a powerful, powerful reminder for all of us that real learning always starts with curiosity, not with ego. You know, Feynman's approach, it feels so modern, so scientific, right? It feels like a product of our recent past. But as teachers, we know that the biggest truths, the most profound ideas, they tend to echo across centuries. And that brings up a really interesting question. And the answer, which might not surprise you, is a huge no. In fact, this exact same idea that you simplify to truly understand, it's a cornerstone of ancient Indian wisdom. It's been practiced by masters of communication for thousands of years. And this link just becomes so obvious when we look at the great Indian epics. I mean, here we find this technique being used by some of the most revered figures in all of history, way before anyone was thinking about writing a physics textbook. And this comparison just illustrates that timeless connection perfectly. Think about it. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna is completely overwhelmed. He's confused. He doesn't need a dense philosophical lecture. So what does Lord Krishna do? He distills the incredible wisdom of the Gita into analogies and clear logic that Arjuna can grasp so he can act. It's the Feynman technique, plain and simple, just in a different setting. Simplify complexity to empower action. And you see this principle popping up everywhere. In the Ramayana, Hanuman doesn't bog Sita down with battle plans. He gives her a simple, direct message and shows her a ring. Why? To build trust. In the Katha Upanishad, Yama explains the abstract idea of the soul to a little boy, Nachiketa, by using a tangible metaphor he can understand, a chariot. And the Vedic seers themselves, they used images from nature, rivers, fire, to make these huge cosmic truths accessible to everybody. Okay, this is all fantastic history, but let's bring it home. Why does any of this matter to you in your classroom on a Tuesday morning with 30 students staring at you? Well, because this ancient, time-tested technique is honestly one of the most powerful tools you can have in your teaching toolbox. It's really a win-win-win situation. For you, the teacher, when you force yourself to simplify a lesson, you end up mastering it on a whole other level. For your students, when you ask them to explain it back, they go from just passively listening to actively owning that knowledge, and their retention goes through the roof. And for everyone involved, the process strengthens memory and shines a bright light on any weak spots. And the best part is, you can put this into practice immediately, like tomorrow. Try this. After a lesson, just have students turn to a partner and explain the big idea in their own words. Or encourage those why chains, like a little kid does, to keep digging deeper. And most importantly, pull analogies from their world, from things they see every day, from their local culture, to make these abstract ideas feel real and solid. So, from Krishna's advice on a battlefield to Feynman's private notes, the truth is exactly the same.
Real mastery, whether you're the student or the teacher, isn't about using big, complicated words. It's about achieving that deep, unshakable clarity in your message.
So as you head back to your work, I want to leave you with a little challenge. Think about one idea, one concept you teach that students always seem to struggle with. How can you apply this second pillar to it? How could you explain it so simply, so beautifully, that understanding becomes almost unavoidable? Take this ancient piece of wisdom and make it yours.